Happy First Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to the First Sunday series where we chat about community and we have just a space for us to come and talk. My name is Alicia. If you've never been here, I am the host of Black Girls in Podcast. As you see, I have a lovely guest on the side of me, Jaida Day. She is the guest of the episode, and we're going to get into more about who she is later on and what she does. But everybody just say hi to her. Welcome. Thank you for joining so much.
Yes, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So basically First Sunday is just the time to talk about different things, building community, navigating it. Like growing up, First Sunday was really big in like church. If you went to church, you get your communion, talk, be out there. So it's just kind of a replica of that. And my hopes is to have First Sunday where we're able to just chat, talk about different things that is going on in life. But right now I know that there's a lot of things online talking about, loneliness, building community, or not feeling a part of anything. And so I thought it would be great to chat with you because you founded like your own organization at a PWI. If you do not know what that means, predominantly white institution. Never really thought about that until I went to college, but we all know that that means it was for who? The people, okay? And so as Black women, you have to navigate these spaces differently, and it doesn't even change when it gets to corporate. It's still kind of the same thing no matter where you're at. So I thought like talking about this and how you have made a space for college students to feel seen and heard on campus, I thought it was a really like cool thing. And so I just wanted to kind of talk to you and see how you did it, why you did it, and just, a little bit about the organization. So that is why we are here today.
Yes, yes. Well, yeah, I can, of course, kick it off and just talk about a little bit who I am, where I'm from, and why I started everything. And so, as Alicia said, I'm Jaida Day. I'm from Los Angeles, and I just moved to the DMV area. So, community-based stuff is really strong right now for me personally. But before I moved, I went to UC San Diego, which was a predominantly white institution. And I'm from Los Angeles, so there's a lot of black and brown. That's what I grew up with, elementary to high school. And so when I went to college, it was a bit of a culture shock, and for many reasons. But one of the reasons was because the beauty supply products I needed on campus were not there at
Mm.
all. And the closest beauty supply, like the big beauty supply that has everything which that you need, was 30 minutes away driving. And I was a freshman. Southern California transit is terrible, so it was hard out here.
Uh-huh.
So, long story short, my second semester of college, I kicked off and started my business called Black Beauty Near You, where I started selling beauty supply products catered towards Black women on campus and Black men too. And so I started that, and then that was fall of 2019. So next quarter, COVID hit, and so it was like, what? Yes, girl. Like, what do you do? And so everybody went home. I was home over the summer trying to figure it out, and then they actually invited us back to campus. You had the option to come back if you wanted to. That fall of 2020. So I was like, I need to come back. I can't focus at home. I need to go back to campus and get myself together. And so when I went back, some students were still there, some faculty, and so I was still selling beauty supply products to them. And then some weren't, but they still needed the products because where they lived or where they were still predominantly white places. And so that's when I got into like shipping and really expanding the Black Beauty Near You, also known as BBNY community. And I was like, if I could ship to y'all, then I could ship to other students across the country who need these resources.
Mm.
And so started that. And then by the time I graduated, we had kits going out, we had the braider directory, and we were really growing as a community. But after I graduated, I did start full time as a software engineer. So as you can imagine, my schedule looked very different compared to when I was a student. So I had to take a step back and be like, okay, I still want to give these girls what they need, but I also need to take care of myself and see what I can do while still making an impact. And so in 2024, I launched Black Beauty Near You University, also known as BBNY University or BBNYU. And through there is where I and other amazing professionals provide resources for Black girls in college. So, being whether it's beauty supply products, sometimes we have people sponsor kits or giveaways, whether it be internship and job opportunities. We have a career coach. Her name is Danielle Germain. Her business is Career Toolkits by D, and she's BBNY University's official career coach, and she drops opportunities literally every day of the week. Monday through Friday, you can expect a post from her.
Mhm.
We also have monthly office hours where I have an hour in the university where I sit in, and sometimes I invite other professionals to sit in to just talk about any topics. Like the last one we had was how to make the most out of your summer. Some girls are graduating, some girls are going into internships, some girls are going into summer school. So we have office hours every month, and then we also have a wellness coach inside BBNY University. His name is Jaida Pickering Hayes, and he is amazing. He just got his master's in public health, and so as you can know, he teaches the girls all things about wellness, whether it be mental wellness, physical wellness, how to bridge the two together, spiritual wellness. And so it's really grown to be this amazing community. Oh, and of course, we have the group chat, which is where all the conversations and stuff happen.
Mhm.
Girls venting, sharing some news, sharing their wins, shoot, sharing their losses too, because college gets hard. So
Yeah.
it's really grown into something so beautiful. And I realize, they don't just need these products. It's a little bit more than that. They need this community to be
Mhm.
able to connect with girls all across the country who are going through the same thing as them, and then also connect with professionals who have done it already that they can learn from. So that's pretty much how and why everything started and where we are now. And I'm loving it. We're just growing and growing day by day, learning things as I go, and it's truly been a pleasure.
Mhm. I love that. That was definitely a lot. It talked about transitions, but it showed like your entrepreneurial like spirit and how you can pivot and everything like that, which really we all do need in adulthood. I do want to go back to from like when you started, like, did you know you wanted to be an entrepreneur
No,
growing up or
no,
anything?
no, that was never like, no. I remember when I was little, I wanted to be a vet. I always wanted to be a vet. And then, like, high school, I realized I was really good at math and science. And then,
Mm,
I did a few like summer camps surrounded around coding. And so I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to go to school for. So I got my bachelor's of science in math and computer science. So that was all like before I started college, that was like the goal was to get some type of career in that technical or math field. But it just happened. I remember, I would come back home and complain, and then my mom was like, "Okay, girl, what you gonna do about it then? What you gonna do?" And so my parents were very supportive. I have a really supportive community. So when the idea came about, they were like, "Sounds great, girl. I think you should do it, and we're here to support you." So this was never, something that I aspired to be. But I'm so happy that I was open to it because it's brought on, like, I've been able to experience so many things, grow in so many ways, meet so many amazing people, touch so many people. So,
mm-hmm.
but it wasn't in the plan at all.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. So you don't sell beauty products anymore. You kind
No.
of okay.
Yeah. So how we go about it is essentially is more so providing the resources that the girls need. And so if there is an instance where we collaborate with the brand where we give away products, and that's what we do. Like last fall, we partnered with Black Beauty Block Party, and the CEO gave us tickets to attend, and it was a beautiful experience. And so then once we had that planned, then Ivy Beauty had reached out to us because they wanted to do something for the girls in the fall. It's kind of like that back to school season still.
Mhm.
And so they donated over like 400 products for us to give out to the girls who went to the Black Beauty Block Party. So we do stuff like that. Sometimes brands reach out to give discount codes to the girls, which we're always receptive of. And like I said, we do all kinds of giveaways, whether it be in person or virtual, because we still do acknowledge that that is a big resource that the girls need. But now it's that and
Yes. Do you know how many campuses that you have touched?
that is a great question because from shipping out products to the girls in the community, I haven't really sat down and like thought about it, but I would say like we've definitely touched girls from all different coasts. We've had girls like California, Arizona, up
Mhm.
north in Washington and Oregon. We have a lot of girls from like New Jersey, New York. Got a lot of girls in the DMV area, down to Texas, Memphis, Minnesota. Like so, we're pretty spread out. Like I I would say we got at least like half of the
Okay.
at least that I've touched from shipping orders to the community, I will say. Because yeah, we have girls coming in from all over, whether it be buying something or whether it be fully joining the community. So
Mhm. I
that
love
was
that. I just wondered. So I don't. So my question was, I was surprised when you were talking about Los Angeles. Like I don't know. I hear a different perspective. Like I hear it's not that many black people in Los Angeles, and different things. Yeah, I hear like the black community is
yeah.
small. Like
I can see that if you're like visiting Los Angeles, because usually when people visit Los Angeles, they're going to like Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and I mean that's where
mm,
all the non-black people be. I mean, there's black people there, but the population isn't as high compared if you go to like the South Central area, if you go to Inglewood, Gardena,
mm,
Long Beach, Carson, like
okay.
that's where I frequent. And that's where all the black people are. I mean, like when I'm home growing up, like I said, I grew up in a black and brown community. And so that's all I know. But I can see, when people visit, like the glitz and glam and the advertised places,
Okay.
those
Mhm.
are the places where you might not find a lot of us, but we are very much there,
Yeah.
and we definitely touch and influence a lot of the surrounding areas. But it just depends on where you go when you visit. But if you want to get a true black experience, you just got to reach out to somebody who's from there and who grew up there and is black. Then you can find our people.
Okay, that could make sense too. Because my question was going to be
Mhm.
how how is San Diego? Because I've never been to San Diego, so I'm like,
Yeah,
what's
well,
that?
San Diego is a different beast. I would say it's kind of the same because where I went to school, you could think of it. I always describe it like San Diego Hills. I was in La Jolla City, which was still San Diego County, but it's more like I said in the hills, very
Mm,
if you will. So where the campus was, it wasn't a lot of black people. But if you go more to like the southeast area, go more southern San Diego County, that's where all the young people are. So that's why I was saying, 30-minute drive to a real beauty supply, because
mhm.
that's where it was, where all of us are.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it really just depends on where you are in certain communities because San Diego is very, very big. Um,
Oh,
it
okay.
depends on where you are in the area. But yeah, I would say it's similar to LA, how you just got to know where to be to find
Mhm.
people. Hmm.
Yeah, and I want to ask you, this is kind of going off, but it's
Okay.
like, but now you said that you're in DC now. So
Yes.
now I'm like, you have probably a whole different perspective because DC, you're gonna see black people like wherever you go.
No, yes, absolutely. Like I remember my first time visiting out here, and I just loved it. It was a culture shock, but in the best way. Like back home, it's still a very diverse crowd. So you go to the post office, you might get like one black person, one Latino, one white, one Filipino, whatever. You go to the post office, all here, all black people.
Yeah.
Grocery store, black people. Airport, black people. Corporate offices, black people. Like I just absolutely love it. And it's just so inspiring. Like literally I went to the doctor and everybody who was checking me in was black. My doctor, she was Indian, loved that. And
Mhm.
the other day I'm coming up to my room and I run into a black woman who's a firefighter in the elevator. And I'm just like, this is the representation. I'm like, I can't even imagine if I would have grew up seeing that just so casually in my day to day. But this is the representation that they talk about in this area because it truly is, where a lot of us are, but we're all doing so amazing things here. Like I feel like not only is it a high black population, but there's so many black men and women out here who are ambitious and doing the thing. So, like I said, it's a culture shock, but in the absolute best way.
Yeah, I have a different perspective. I had a culture shock too because I
Mhm.
like kind of from Kentucky. Like I've lived in the Midwest, so I moved to Atlanta, and I was like,
Oh,
this is the most black people I ever seen. Like going to the grocery store, I said, "Oh my goodness, what is going on?" But I had a unpopular opinion, so I'm gonna keep that offline. But I was just like, oh my goodness. Like I was like, this is like reverse culture shocking because I was like, I have
Mm-hmm.
never been to a store where I have not seen no white person. Like I started doing DoorDash and stuff like that. I was in the South. I said, baby, this is black down
This is
here. Yeah, but
different.
Atlanta black is different than DC black. So that's all I'm gonna say.
And we're gonna leave it at that.
We're gonna leave it. So that's that. But I do know that sometimes it's hard to navigate those experiences when you grow up from somewhere and then like you're moving to college. And I went to a PWI as well too. But my PWI is in kind of city. I don't think it was 30, like our beauty supply stores wasn't 30 minutes away. It was like it's a smaller city. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't think about that. But then I also had to think about like I probably went home to get my hair done and I didn't go far away from home. Like, I had braids, so I didn't really go outside. I just kind of went home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people at my school, they're like from here too. So I kind
Yeah.
of like can see like it's just like a different experience, like where you go to school, how far you go to school, like that. And so speaking of like that community, like, on campus and building that, I wanted to know, like, how did you like spread the word about your
Mhm.
organization? Or like how did you get people to like believe in like,
Yeah.
supporting?
Yeah. So, like I said, I started my sophomore year of college in or my second year. And during my second year, I also started an internship at our Black Resource Center.
Mm,
And each of us as interns were assigned a year long project. And one of my co interns and friends, Malik, his year long internship was called The Shop. And so I think it was like every other Friday inside the Black Resource Center, he would host the shop, and he would bring in hairstylists, barbers, lash techs. And when I started my business, he's like, "Yeah, come up on in here, and sell your stuff." And so that's exactly what I did. And so yeah, that's how I really started spreading the word on campus, like really like in person, boots on the ground type. I would do flyering around. I would reach out to the different campus newsletters.
mm,
Again, like I knew we had a newsletter at the Black Resource Center, so I was using that. But also, I'm like, we have the other resource centers, and as Black people, we're very diverse. So
mhm.
the LGBTQ Center, you can be in the Raza Center, you can be in the Asian and Pacific Islander Center, and you can still also be Black. So I was like, I'm gonna touch all my bases. And then I also had an Instagram account too. And so on there I would share, what I'm selling, what's available. I had pickup and drop off time, so people were aware, and they would just DM me and be like, "Hey, I want to pick up this, and this. Do you have this?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, boom, pick it up here. I'll meet you here on campus." And do it like that. And then from there,
Hustler.
yeah, word was getting around. I'm like, meet me at the shop here, or you can meet me at Price Center. That was, where our cafeteria was. You can meet me there and pick up your stuff. I'll meet you at where do you want to go? I got it for you. And so that's pretty much how I would spread the word, and just doing a lot of like showing a lot of the behind the scenes on social media as well, like packing orders. I always took pictures with my customers when I would meet up with them. So yeah, that's pretty much how word got around. And like it was really a need. So it's like if you need something, instead of trying to go somewhere off campus, if I had it, then it's the first thing people think of, because then they don't have to
Mhm.
go to campus. Hmm.
Okay, my girl. So like basically you're providing the needs. Like I'll meet you wherever you at.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can really want to meet you. Even when I lived off campus, sometimes I would drive to campus. Sometimes I would meet people halfway. And like I said, then I started shipping products out. So I was working with the times. I was meeting people where they were, whether they were near or far.
Yes, I love that. And so from that, you kind of switched because then it was like COVID and everything like that.
Mhm.
Where did you figure out like, oh, people are needing community and like let me, you know,
Yeah.
provide that.
Yeah, so I would say like through conversation, of course, I would hear little things, but it was really when I would say like we started when TikTok started booming. I started a Black Beauty Near You account on TikTok, and I wasn't always just like promoting what I sold. I would do like relatable TikToks that are relatable to like the Black experience at a PWI. And once
Mhm.
I started doing more of those videos, I'm just on there joking around, but like really it's like truth in it at the same time. And based on the comments, I feel like that really spread the online community and the conversation that was bigger than just, oh, I need beauty supply products. I mean, we're talking about microaggressions. We're talking about, how we're not being advocated for in the beauty space, in the educational space, how things are happening on campus, and we need to talk about it. Like it was more than just talking about, how I have beauty supply products or how we need it. Like I would talk about that, but I'm also talking about how on this campus this happened and what are we doing about this, or bringing attention to it. Or I'm talking about, how we're struggling and we're behind because of this, and that. We need to get it together. And people in the comments like, yes, absolutely. I experienced this, I experienced that. And so through those conversations that I was having with people, whether it be via DM, whether it be in the comments, I'm like, okay, like this is bigger than just beauty supply products. Like we need each other. We need to
Mhm.
be one another. Like we're having conversations in these comments, in these DMs. So that's when I realized, there more needs to be done and more can be given. And as I was exposed to the various resources that we had on campus and just being a professional now, like I noticed that there's a lot of things that are out there that students don't know about. So if I can not only bring these beauty supply products to you, but I could tell you about this conference that's coming up, I could tell you about these scholarships that are available, then I'm gonna do that. I've always had that nature in me. Like you can ask my friends, my family, like if they tell me they're looking for a job or they're looking for this type of scholarship, and if I see it, they know I'm gonna send it to them times 10. And so I'm like, I was so happy that BBNY turned into the university, because then that already that nature of myself to give and share resources with
Mhm.
energy can now be poured into the university. I now have like a direct outlet. So it really just kind of just merged into it so gracefully. Yeah, once I realized, okay, yeah, these girls need more than just these comments and DMs. I was like, well, this is what we're gonna do, and it was perfect because I'm not even gonna lie, like I was tired of seeing those beauty supply products sitting in my room. I'm like, something has to give, something has to give. This cannot be my life. I'm like, this right here is not my passion. So the pivot worked out perfectly for all of us.
Mhm. I am cracking up. That's so funny about that. But yeah, it's like transitions. But oh, that's cool. You said like you started on TikTok because that was when like TikTok was booming because like
Yep.
all that was still happening in COVID. I'm like, I don't even know TikTok from then to today. It's
Yeah.
all different and so many things has changed. But I know TikTok goes really, really fast. So that's kind of how you built your following, and then that's kind of
Mhm.
how it has kind of like garnered into this kind of space
Yeah,
now. Um,
absolutely.
and so it's for students. This is a great question, actually.
Mhm.
Is it for undergrad students at PWIs
Oh no,
or
it's for all Black women. So the audience I would say we cater to would be like undergrad students at PWI, just given the resources that we offer. But
Mhm,
we do have space for grad students at PWS. I mean, some girls in the university don't even go to PWI. There's some girls go to HBCU, and I'm like, yeah, girl, come up in here and get these resources. Like, it's hard out here, regardless of the school you go to. So it's like, as a brand, as a business, we have to have our target audience. But I'm not going to deny another Black girl from coming into the community if they need
mhm,
community. And then we also have like our girls who have graduated, who stick around for a year or two afterwards, because after you graduate, like
I
I'm
love
not like, all right, bye, like have fun in this world. I'm like,
mhm.
no, please stick around so we can help guide you in that way too, because yeah, after you graduate, it's a whole different beast. And so we still do keep the space open for that as well. So yeah, all girls in college, and even if you're a little bit out of college, you're welcome.
Okay, I love that because I feel like sometimes, and it's probably not the school's fault, but as grad students, like it can be really isolating as grad
Mhm.
students
Yeah.
are in general because it's so much catered to undergrad. So that's why I wanted to
Yep.
ask that.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I get that because even when I was working at the Black Resource Center, one thing we wanted to make sure we always did was not just cater towards our Black Student Union, but also our Black Grad Student Association. We
Mhm,
acknowledge that, like you said, a lot of times that community is not looked over. It's like, all right, they grown, they only gonna be here for a couple of years, they got it. And it's like some people come
mhm,
into grad school like across the country, and
mhm,
so it's a lot more isolating to them compared to this undergrad student who's been here and lived 2 hours out. And so, yeah, I definitely love to, bring in that community because it's hard out here. And although they may not need that extra push to, sometimes like when it's your freshman,
mhm.
it's like, oh, go meet these people and do all this. When you're in grad school, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, I want to meet people, but not like that.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying to get my degree, you know.
yeah, exactly. But we still bring the professionals in for them to connect with. We share job opportunities as well,
Mhm.
not just internships. So stuff for them to prepare for when they are going into that world after graduation. So yeah, try to do a mix of two because we know we have a little bit of both in our community. So yeah.
Okay, I love that. So when we
Mhm.
talk about community building, it's kind of hard now, just with like life and things. And you know how you said like you moved and like you started a job, so it was like different, like, demanding. Do you have any tips for maybe like someone who is trying to build community? Like maybe they relocated, like you said, you moved. I don't know how far San Diego is from LA. 2 hours? Is it two
Yeah,
hours?
yeah. So yeah, it's like a 2 hour drive, no traffic, 3 hours. But LA to DMV, that's yeah,
Well,
you
yeah.
know.
That's so far. Okay, right. But maybe someone who is relocating that maybe has to move 2 hours away from the family, or I mean even across, but like, do you
Yeah.
have any tips for someone who is
Mhm.
trying to build their community in, I would say, in a new state then, or like,
Yeah.
a new
Yeah,
city?
I would say one thing you do, like, I'm sorry if you introverted, but you have to put yourself out there. Like, you're not gonna get nowhere sitting in that room, period, at all. And so I know it's hard, because me personally, I'm extroverted, so I try not to like put that onto other people because nobody wants. There's nobody. If you're not introverted, you're not just gonna want to go somewhere and just be out 3 times a week, type of deal. But I do encourage folks to find something that gets them out of the house that also gets them to community. And like for example, like BBNY University, we offer that virtual community, which is a lot less intimidating than pulling up to an event that you don't know about. But also like we share in-person events that are going on, which I feel like are always the best way to do so. And so if you're in that space and you feel like, and I'm of course going to plug the university because like I said, we have girls from all across the country. So if there's an event you want to go to, like some girls will drop something in the group chat and be like, hey, this is going on this week, like is anyone else in the area going, or this is happening virtually, does anybody else want to attend with me, type of deal, down to conferences or just events in the area. So I always encourage doing that, but like putting yourself out there is one, and like finding an organization um, that's either it's virtual or on campus that you can join and be a part of. So then that way, like you have something that you have to commit to. Like at BBNY University, we have office hours every month. Like the girls who are, they know at least every month, like they have something to go to put themselves out there. Whether or if you're in person and you're like, oh, I want to join this cooking club. I know they meet every other week. So I'm going to go to that and commit to that for the semester and see how that goes. But if anything, like just you have to put yourself out there. Like when you go to events, put that phone away. Like don't be in there and just be like scrolling in the corner. Nobody's gonna want to talk to somebody who's on their phone. So little stuff like that. And it is hard. It is intimidating, but like I tell my girls, like, if you need somebody to be on FaceTime with you while you walk to this event, like, hit the group chat, like, and then we can get you there and you can ease your way in, just little stuff like that. It can be intimidating at first, but like after that first event, next thing I know, the girls be like, oh yeah, I'm a part of this and this. I've been going to
Mhm.
this. And I'm like, see, look at you
Yeah.
thriving. It wasn't so bad. And so you just have to put yourself out there. It's very nerve wracking, especially if you're coming in like mid school year, like even grad school, because by the time that happens, like all of those new welcome activities aren't as prevalent compared to if it was your freshman year. But putting
Yeah.
yourself out there, put that phone down, introduce yourself to people, share
Mhm.
that Instagram account, share that however you communicate with people, share that. And then also, is what we always talk about at BBNY too. Like we always say that BBNY University is not a place for just a one-time thing and then that's it. Like we're going to continue this relationship. Because sometimes you go out with people and you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this next time, or let's do this next month, and it just never happens. Like
Mhm.
be intentional about your follow-up. Like if you say that you're gonna do something with a group of people that you actually like, plan it, do
Yeah.
it. And especially if you're on campus, like you don't even have to plan the event. You could just say, hey, let's go to this
Yeah.
weekend. Everybody
Mhm.
has class. Let's go. And so, yeah, but those are a few things I would say. I just want to acknowledge that I know it can be very nerve wracking, but everybody's nervous. I'm sure the people you meet, if you get to know them and ask them later and be like, hey, like, how did you feel? I'm pretty sure they'd be nervous too. I still get nervous when I go to new events, as extroverted as I am. I think that's just a part of the process. But it will make a world of a difference once you find something that you can commit to, and that you enjoy to do. That's how you get into that community. Even some girls in university, I'd be like, make sure you say something in the group chat so we can get to know you. Um,
That's so funny. How do you
yeah.
know if they find the community?
Say that again.
How do you feel like they find like BB and
How
YU?
they find like how find out about us?
Yeah, how do you feel like they found out?
Yeah. So it could be a few ways. So we table sometimes at universities. I did a lot of tabling back home in California, and so I would do flyering, follow the page, all that good stuff, word of mouth. And one thing I do, I run ads on Instagram. I know
Mm,
all the girls is on Instagram. Really, all the girls is on TikTok too. But I know they're on Instagram too. They might not post, but they're gonna see that ad. And I run ads on Instagram. I'm actually like trying to get into like the different type of ads, targeting different audiences, like trying out ads that target an audience that already see my stuff but maybe didn't follow, or
mhm,
targeting an audience that hasn't seen my stuff at all. But like running ads on Instagram like has been the best way that I've been able to reach girls and get them on that wait list. And yeah, I would say that's probably like the number one way right now that we get
okay.
girls in the university and get girls to know about the university. And then outside of what I named, like doing giveaways and collaborations with other brands, like I'm so big on collaborations. Like ever since we started, we used to do like a black business spot. I think I did like a black business spotlight like once a month. I
Uh-huh.
picked up Instagram and I was just shouting out another black business to support. Every time we have like a seasonal beauty drop or we have some type of collab, I reach out to all the black businesses on my contact list and say, hey, do you want to drop something in here too? You want to drop a sample? You want to drop a business card? I'm so huge on collaborating with other brands. And so that those are a few ways that I've gotten in front of new faces.
Oh, okay, that's really, really good actually.
Mhm.
Um, I was going to ask. I forget that people like I see ads, but I forget that people be like doing ads. But I feel like TikTok is really, really big, or like word of mouth, and so that's why I was wondering. But I want
Mhm.
to ask, because I feel like this is a struggle kind of point for me. Do you feel like you meet a lot of extroverted people, or do you feel like you meet a lot of introverted people?
Um, I would say that's a good question. Um, as far as the university goes, I would probably say most girls are more introverted compared to extroverted because as you could imagine, like if it is a someone who's more extroverted, then 9 times out of 10 they're already urged to go out and find community or put themselves in places to meet new people, whereas someone who is more introverted, they're not. And then if they find out about a virtual space that's a little less intimidating, they're like, okay, you know what, this is more up my alley. And so I would say like through BBNYU, I meet a lot more girls who are introverted, which I love, because then it's sometimes like being around everyone who's extroverted could be a lot sometimes. So they chill me down a little bit as well. So yeah, I would say mostly introverted, but personally,
Mhm.
I think I attract extroverts for sure. And I,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I am so extroverted, but I feel like I always find introverted people. So that's why I was really asking. Like, I've
Mhm.
been out like 3 times this week. Like, I went to brunch, I went to a trivia. Like, I go out and I feel like I have fun and stuff like that. But like meeting people, it's like I always find introverted people, and they're like, "Oh, we
Mhm.
love extroverted person." But then I'm like, "Yeah, but y'all only liking to do things or going out."
Wow. Yeah, it's good to have a balance though.
Yeah, I feel like it's like I don't know. I feel like I lack extroverted friends because like
Mm,
so I'm like, I feel like it's hard to build community as an extroverted person. I don't mind doing things by myself, but I'm like, at some point, I don't want to keep doing things by
yeah,
myself.
no, no, yeah, I get you. I feel like community is key. Like I feel you. Like it's definitely good to be able to experience things on your own and enjoy your own company. But like I feel like as humans, we are not meant to be alone. So I don't
Mhm,
blame you. Like I love my girls who I can hit up and be like, "Hey, you want to be outside this weekend, or you want to go on this trip?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's go."
mhm,
But I feel like you kind of just it can be difficult because like I do have some friends who are a little bit more introverted, but I know like they might not want to go to like a big old concert or a big old event with a whole bunch of people, but they might want to go out to eat. Like it's just a dinner with just us two. I love that as
Mhm.
well. Or maybe you go on a cute little museum date or something. Kind of just meeting them in between. But yeah, like I feel like I have a mix of folks who are introverted and extroverted
Mhm.
surrounded by, but I did grow up in a very extroverted family. I have pretty
Oh.
extroverted friends. But my friends who are introverted, I feel like they do help slow me down, which I do need because it's like it's not party or it's not event or mall every weekend. Like we can sit in the house and be chill. Like it's okay not to have something to do on the weekend. We
Well,
could
I
just
have to do that the other day, but I'm like, and it's okay to have something to do too.
yeah, you gotta have a balance. But yeah, I hope that you are able to find extroverted folks, in your area too. And I just feel like maybe I don't know because when I moved out here to the DMV, there's an event called Girl Dinner Circle, and it's
I
literally
see that on Instagram.
yes. I Let me see Yaya. Yeah, Yaya is the founder
Oh.
of it, and it's literally made for girls like who are trying to meet new people. And I feel like there you find a mix of extroverted and introverted because you get the introverted girls who's like, I want to make community, but like I'm kind of nervous, but I'm gonna come here because people are forced to make community, so I know I'm gonna meet somebody. And then you got the extroverted people like me, like I still didn't know anyone, but I'm like, I'm gonna get to know somebody up in here, okay? So yeah, maybe if maybe your area has something like that, or even like I know my friend Jada from 4D, how we all got together is because Jada and I think it was Jada and Destiny, they started a book club. And that's how we all really got closer. And that was virtual, which is more, for, if you're not too extra and want to do too much. And then from that, like, we met one another and we branched off, and now we're always hanging out and doing stuff together. So,
Isn't she in the DMV?
say that again.
Jada in the DMV too?
Yes, well, she's in Southern Virginia.
Oh.
Yes, she's still out here, which I love.
And then
Mm.
the other girls in DMV too. I remember it's like now
No,
three of y'all.
No, Kimmy and Cam switched coast. Cam went back last June, and I came out here in November because she graduated from dental school.
Oh yes. So we'll
Yeah,
tell
so it's always 2 and 2. It's always 2 and 2.
I know that's so cool. That's so dang. That's so sad though too. Is there a reason? I mean, you don't. I don't know if you want to share. But is there a reason why you moved to the DMV? Was it like career? Was it like you just want a new experience? Or
Yeah, so I get this question a lot too. So, yeah. But no, yeah, so I remember when I graduated, like I knew I wanted to move somewhere on the East Coast because again, I went to San Diego for school, so I was not that far from home. Like if anything, like I could hop on that bus or hop in the car and go home. And so I realized, some friends I have just thinking like, they got to experience life away from home and learn so many things about themselves. So I was like, I want that for myself. And I was like, I didn't get that through my college experience, but I can still get that now. And so it was just a matter of figuring out where I wanted to go. And so based on just like all the places I've traveled, and I started, traveling more places, I feel like the DMV area felt more like home. And it's a lot closer to the other places that I may find interesting, but it may not see myself living. So that's really helpful too. So I feel like it just everything just aligned, and it was really just based out of interest. Like my job, I worked the same job that I worked when I was in California and or when I was in LA and San Diego. So it wasn't a matter of like a job switch or anything like that. Basically, I'm doing the same thing I was doing at home, just in a different city. Um, so yeah, it's been very rewarding. I've been feeling a lot more settled in that I did like the first few months. And then, yeah, I'm happy I did it. And I'm just so
I
happy.
love
Yeah.
that. I love that the free will is just like, and that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, if you don't have, like, if you're not married, I mean, whatever. If you don't have kids, it's like, see the world. Like, you want to have memories when you go somewhere. Sadly, my experience wasn't that good, but like you're moving. I actually want to move to the West Coast, and I'm so nervous. But it's like if you have experience, like you don't have kids, it's like you want to have memories. Like so, no, I don't want to sit in the house every day because it's like when I look back, I want to be like, I have fun in my twins. I don't want to say like I wasted my time just like being in the house. Like I'm not that's no shade to introverts and things like that, but I feel like sometimes even as women are like black women, like we're just like, oh, we have to like be in the house, like we don't have to, and it's just like no, like experience life and go and do things and like when you can like try it and do new things. Even me right now, like I played tennis when I was younger. I'm really not good at tennis, but I'm like, I'm about to go to this free tennis camp. Like it's I can
Yes.
see people, I can go play. Like I'm over here like learning French. Like I'm getting experiences and I'm doing different things because like you have to explore, you have to try new things. And so I feel like sometimes we like in jobs or whatever, like they get so like overwhelming or different things like that. I feel like some people don't go and experience and have different things. And I'm not saying like put your calendar up, but it is summertime. I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna go to happy hours. I'm gonna do
Yes, book that trip.
yes, book that trip, child. But it's trips are expensive. But yeah, but I'm like, I feel like it's like, what do we do? And I'm in a city that's like not really that much to do. So that's kind of why I want to
Mhm.
move. But also I'm just like, thinking about where to go, where to move, how to like be strategic with it. Then you
Yeah.
have jobs and stuff like that. So I think that it's kind of cool. Like, okay, and like I of course I follow you on Instagram. So like I'm watching your like chocolate diary city things.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
cool. And just seeing like what it looks like to live in different cities and different things like
Mhm.
that. And so that's why I was like, I think that it's a cool experience. I don't know if which one would you say is better for extroverts or introverts? Would you say LA or DC is better?
Honestly, if you're introverted, well, I don't even want to say it's like an introvert thing, but I feel like as far as things to do, the reason why I moved, so I my goal was to move out of San Diego because
Oh,
I feel like after I graduated college, like that community there was just not for me. Like as a black woman who always wanted stuff to do, and it just wasn't given. I lived there 2 years after I graduated, and I was like, I got to
San
go.
Diego, yes.
So I moved back home because I was like, I want to move somewhere else, and I wanted to save some money. But I love LA. I feel like there's always something to do in LA. And so when I was looking for some place to move, I was like, I need to move somewhere that always has something to do. Am I going to say yes to everything? No, but I would rather have like to have things to say no to than have nothing to say no to at all. So I feel like the like DC and LA have a lot of similarities as far as like there's always something to do. There's
Mhm.
always things going on, which can be good for both introverts and extroverts. So, extroverts have somewhere to let off that energy, and then introverts always have an option of something to do that they enjoy. I will say, it seems like, well, no, I mean, like, because I feel like both DC and LA both have things like whether you like to party, whether you like to go to museums, whether you like book clubs, whether you like to try new foods. So, yeah, I would say as far as like activity and social life, they're pretty similar as far as like the frequency and how common it is. Now, one thing about DC, when it gets cold, people still like to go outside. I'm not used to that because when it gets cold in LA, yeah, when it gets cold in LA, we're not doing nothing. We're in the house, it's cold, it's raining, but out here, like it's still ice on the ground, and it's like, oh, party this weekend, like, y'all, like, do y'all not see that snow outside?
Really?
So
I see it.
DC still be outside when it's cold, so that was very new to me. But yeah, both there's always something going
Yeah.
on.
That is so funny too because I was like this winter, I was like, I'm hibernating, like I'm inside. But like if you look at New York, like people do stay inside, but there's still more things to do versus like
Yeah.
I was like, I need to go to a city that's warm all year because I do like to do things. So I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
looking more West Coast so I can go out in
Right.
November and December because baby, I'm gonna be up, bundled up. Oh no, snow on the ground. I'm not trying to go out. But like when I live in Atlanta, people were still going out in the wintertime because it's one thing to be cold, but it's one thing to be like there's snow on the ground. No, thank you. I don't want to drive in snow and be parking. So I think that also does attribute to like building community and making
Mhm.
friends and stuff like that, like knowing where you live and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
why I thought about that. But so you don't think it's an introverted or an extroverted thing? You think that they both have different
Mhm.
different opportunities. Who would you say has the worst traffic?
LA, hands down.
Oh, LA has worse traffic than DC?
Yeah, LA traffic, like it take you 30 minutes to get 5 miles. DC, like if something is 30 minutes away, like that's a good 30 minutes away. Like you gonna get far in 30 minutes. Now, yes, there may be traffic, but like it's not as bad as LA. Like LA traffic, like it just don't even make no sense. Like it's traffic every single time and every single day. It doesn't matter if it's rush hour, the morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner time, busy weekend, a non-busy week, holiday weekend. It's always. But I think honestly, I would like to say that the drivers, and now when I go up to Maryland, they don't be driving crazy. DC, but that DC like Virginia
They be
area, I don't know what the DMV got going on, giving out those licenses, but these people don't use blinkers. They merge last minute. Like it's crazy. Now I think
Yeah,
that
boy.
yeah, I think this area has the worst drivers, but LA has the worst traffic, and that's
Okay.
a lot because people can't drive in LA either. But out here, it's ridiculous.
They be on the move, trying to go. Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, I think this was great because you've shown how you had to like build community in different spaces. Like we talked about college, we talked about moving
Yeah,
smaller, a couple of hours across the states. Do you
yeah.
see yourself moving back to LA, or do you feel like DC, DMV areas where it's at?
Well, as much as that move costs,
Oh,
money wise and energy wise, I'm gonna be here for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that. Now,
period.
catch him with me, in a bit, and then we'll see where we are then. But it ain't even been a year yet. I can't even think about picking up my stuff and moving anywhere else right now. Like absolutely not. I will suffer through a year if I have
You
to.
like give me a few years.
Right. God forbid I'm suffering through anything, but yeah, this was a lot to do. So I'm gonna be here for a minute at least.
I definitely understand. Okay, so that's good. So basically just building community, like it takes time anywhere. You have to navigate it, whether it's in camp, like campus or corporate,
Mhm.
like even in cities. So I think that we kind of like, kind of touched on that in general.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's harder necessarily? I don't know like how
Mhm.
your job situation is, but like do you feel like it's hard like connecting with coworkers, things like that, or do you feel like it's kind of good, with
I
that?
would say like just I can compare it to like college to corporate and then corporate LA to corporate DC, if that makes sense. But yeah, going from college to like a full-time job, it was harder to like make connections just in general because you're going from a space like on campus where there's events happening all the time. All you got to do is show up with something.
Mm-hmm.
But after you graduate, not only do you have to show up, you actually have to plan it. Where are we going? What time? Who's hosting? What are we doing? Like it's a lot. And then like, is everybody available? Because like when you're on campus, like your schedule is kind of spread out, so people are pretty much available for the most part. But after you graduate, it's like, girl, I'm working. After work, I got to do this, and I'm tired. So it takes a lot more coordination. So that I really had to get used to, because it was at a point where I was like, dang, like people are doing this and like I'm not going or I'm not doing that or I'm not invited or I want to do this. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, do it. And if you want to do it with your friends, invite your friends. And once I kind of like wrap my head around that, like life got better because I was just in the weeds and I'm just like, and it's like you have to put in that initiative. Um,
Mhm.
so that was definitely a difficult transition. And then going from LA to DC, I would say a lot more of my like coworkers who I actually work with are in like more of them are in the DC area compared to in the LA area. I connected with my coworkers in LA because I knew one of them from high school. So then I was hanging out with her coworkers. We didn't work on the same nothing, but we were just hanging around because we worked at the same company. But now that I'm in here in DC, like I see a lot more of people that I'm working on like the same projects with. I'm in the same department with. So that has been great because I feel like it's allowed me to, just foster those relationships even more. And all that, although I will say I've done a lot of networking, like for the 3 years that I was virtual, I've met so many people. So now that I'm able to see more people in person, I feel like it's just,
It's
taking me there. So yeah, it's different. It's a transition, but like, we pushing through.
yes, I love that. I love that all the different types of experience and stuff like that. Basically, the growing pains of
Yeah, exactly.
navigating adulthood, child, after college. Okay, I love that. Do you feel like there's anything that we have missed that you
Um,
want to talk about, or do you feel like there's anything that we left out?
um, I would say just one thing that I didn't speak on, very brief, is like if you are moving to a new area,
Mhm.
especially where you don't know anyone, I would say what helped me because like when I moved to San Diego, I didn't know anybody, and it was tough. It was tough, and like although like I knew of a few people, but it wasn't people that like I actually like hung out with. Um,
Mhm.
so before coming to DC, I said, well, I'm gonna have to figure it out before I even get there. So what I did, like I knew what my interests were for the most part, and so I started up looking up like groups in the DMV area that met up, or maybe like a walking club or a Pilates group or like girl dinner. Like I was following these pages before I even moved out here. So by the time I got out here, I already had stuff on the list. to go to. I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening in December. Got that book, because I moved out here in November, and so I did that, and I'm like, okay, where's the gym? Where's these studios? Where's the dance classes? All that stuff, and so I did that beforehand because when I got here, I wanted to make sure I had at least like a few things to do because it was already really hectic, like moving and stuff like that. So if I had to think
Mhm.
about settling in on top of like finding things to do, it would have been already a lot more overwhelming than it already was. And so I feel like that really helped me transition into like finding some type of social life and getting out of the house more, doing that research before moving out here. So then when I got out here, I already had stuff on my calendar to go to. Tickets.
Oh, I love that. I do think about that. Yeah, I think about like Facebook groups and stuff like that to
Yes, exactly.
connect
Exactly. Mhm.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like woo, so many things. Yeah, moving to a new city is a whole nother topic of conversation.
Literally like that's yeah. It's
How
been
how long did it take you from though? How long did it take you from idea to like moving?
well, I had the idea like I would say probably like the end of my senior year in college. So that was like
Oh,
2022. And
mhm.
then like so the idea had been brewing, and I'm the type of person I'm like, if an idea keeps coming up in my head, then I know that's where I find my discernment. I'm like, God's not gonna plant an idea in my head multiple times and not be for me. So after a while, I'm like, okay, girl, like you said you was gonna do this. So when are you gonna do it? Where are you gonna go? And so after the years passed, I started traveling to different places and just scoping it out, seeing what it was like. What could I see myself here? Could I not? Asking different people about their opinions and stuff. And then once I settled on the DMV area, it was a matter of like, where did I want to go, and when was that going to happen? And so towards like mid 2024, so I live with one of my best friends, and she was applying to grad school, and one of her options was San Francisco, one of them was DC. I said, all right, girl, now if you go to DC, I'm gonna go with you. I'm right there with you. We can figure this out. If you go to San Francisco though, like you mean it. I can't go because both areas are very expensive. So if I'm gonna put my dollar down, I'm gonna put my dollar down somewhere where I actually want to be.
That
And so she ended up going with the San Francisco option for plenty of reasons. If you're gonna go to grad school, go somewhere where it makes sense. And so she went to San Francisco, and so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back home to LA because I wasn't paying San Diego rent by myself. That's where I drew the line. And so I went back home to LA, saved my money, and I
mhm.
also was like with my family and friends. So it was so good being back home before moving across the country. Like I feel like it solidified a lot of like my friendships and my familiar relationships, and really gave me like that mental support that I needed to make that leap and move. Yes, it made it harder emotionally because I'm like, dang, like I love y'all and I don't want to leave y'all. But it did help. So that's kind of like how that went for me. But yeah, so I went back home, stayed there for some time, and that's when I really got into like spreadsheet. Where are we going? What do we need to budget for? How much is this? I'm like, where did you? So I
Naturally.
yeah, I asked Cam. I'm like, Cam, like, how did you do the move? How did you ship your car out here? What
Mhm.
areas did you look? And then when I would come out here and visit her, like, she would show me some different areas around. So like that's kind of how that went. And then I would say like I said, I moved back home to LA in 2024. So like once I decided like DC was it for me, I was in planning mode. And then 2025 came, and I was like, okay, so when are we gonna do this? And I was like, end of summer. And then when I started actually planning things out, I'm like, okay, November it is. That's the date. That's what we're doing. And yeah, and then that's pretty much how that happened.
I was literally like, you have to set a date. Like you have to set a date. That's being like, okay,
No,
what
yeah, because at first I was like just floating in the air, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. And then I'm like, okay, Jada, like I remember because I had a therapist at that time too, because I really wanted someone to be there with me and help me transition through this move. And she was like, you have to set like tangible goals. You can't just be like your fluffy goals and be like, oh yeah, I want to move here. And it's like, okay, but when and what time and by what date and how much is it? How much do you have to move? Like, she really helped me set those concrete goals. And so yeah, like I said, I was like, end of summer was my goal. And then once I started like putting things together and really finding out the place I wanted to live and what made sense, just like personally, I was like, November is the best time to go. So I locked in that date with the leasing office, and That's what it was.
Okay, I love that.
Mhm.
Love all the tips and tricks,
Yeah.
building community, basically navigating adulthood and everything that comes with it. As
Exactly.
we can, like you can tell them where they can follow you. I mean,
Oh
what things
yeah.
that you have that's coming up to stay
Yeah.
connected with you.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is AADIAAJ. It's my name backwards. And then wherever A is, make it two. And then you can also follow Black Beauty Near You on Instagram. It's just that, Black Beauty Near You. No special characters, no different spelling. That's what it is. We also have a LinkedIn account for Black Beauty Near You. Follow us on there. We're on TikTok. You can follow us on there. And then I'm also on LinkedIn personally. My full name, Jaida Day, Jaida, last name Day. I'm also on YouTube as well, AADIAAJ.
Yes.
And so yeah, that's where you can find me. And where you, I know I named a lot of places, but if you need one place, it's my personal Instagram, AADIAAJ. DM me if you have any questions about anything I mentioned. Like, I'm really an open book. Am I gonna sometimes, I don't say things just because, like, for the interest of time and just because I don't want to ramble. But if there's something I mentioned that you want me to expand on, just DM me. I'm a voice message type of girl. I'll hop on the phone. Like,
I
just let
love
me know if you have any questions, because like college is such a unique experience. Moving across the country is an even
that.
more taxing experience. I would love to help out any way I can. And anything that I have coming up, like, we always have office hours at Black Beauty Near You once a month. We have one this month with Jaida, the wellness coach I was talking about. We're going to talk about preparing for your summer, but mentally getting ready, depending on what your opportunities are, if you're not doing anything at all. And then also, I haven't even announced this on social media, but in 2024, I walked my first fashion show in Los Angeles, and so I'm going to be doing it again, but this time in New York with a modeling experience. Yes, I'm super excited about that. So all my people in New York, send me all the tips for, because I know that's a busy week. Let me know what I need to do if you
New
have
York
any.
Fashion Week.
Yes, yes,
Oh my
yes. I'm
God,
so
congratulations.
excited. I'm gonna share, more information soon,
Hmm.
for people to get tickets and stuff. But I'm so excited to go. Like, I've always wanted to like be there. Like, me and my friends were really planning on being there, just period, to like just be in the area and maybe attend whatever. But yeah, because usually they reach out to you and follow up, like if you want to do any of their shows, and so they usually do New York or LA, and so they reached out about New York, and I said, well, I'm 3 hours away on the bus, so.
That's it. Okay.
So yeah, that's coming up, and we have some more things coming up for Black Beauty Near You. I don't want to say too much, but if you follow us on Instagram, you'll see what's going on. But yeah, lots of great things to come.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, it's like wedding season now. So like there's a few weddings I'll be going to within the next two to 3 months. So it's gonna be,
It's busy over there with Jada. I love
yes, I like to hibernate in the winter. I say, y'all, okay. I need to reset because summer is gonna be busy.
Yes, I just looked at my summer calendar. I'm like, it's definitely busy. I love how you did your name backwards for like your
Yes,
Instagram. That's so cute.
yes. I don't know how I thought of it, but it's been that way ever since. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna leave
Yeah,
it.
leaving. I'm like, my name is too long for that. But also, I was like, dang, I might need to do another live about like moving with you, because I just thought about it, like that whole proximity to like New York, like just seeing how close you are to different cities is really good, and that's why I think DC
Yes.
is a good spot. I had New York on my list too. I think about doing a scouting trip to DC, so I'm gonna have to hit you up if I
Let
do.
me know. Let me know.
Yeah,
Please
DC,
do.
it's on my list a little bit, but I feel like my things are like, I feel like I'm LA. I feel like I'm moving more towards LA.
If you do, let me know about that too, because then I can get you right, so you can live in an area that
A
makes.
local. Yeah, I said I need me a local guide. I said I need me a local guide. I know a couple, but I
Yeah,
definitely will hit you up. I'm thinking about doing a scouting trip there, but when I do, I definitely will definitely let you know.
yeah.
Um,
I'm so proud of you,
yes,
and good luck with all of that, because it's not easy. So give yourself grace, please.
yeah, we're going to see. So thank you. I will. But I do want to say before we end, I actually I'm not really connected with college students, but it just made me think about it. If you know any of your college students, okay, they need to the college girls. they need to be a sophomore. But if you know any of them that want to study abroad, that have been approved to study abroad, but that they do not have their passport, please
Mhm,
let me know because I will give BB NYU
mhm.
somebody a free passport. Like I'll pay for their passport.
Are
Yes.
you serious?
I do. I have like two. I think I definitely have one. I think I might have two. But yes, I will give.
Sweet.
I'll hold you. Give
Yeah.
me one. I will try to do two. But I got you on one. I got
Wow.
you
I'm
where
getting all emotional. That's so sweet.
yes, it
That can be such a hindrance for folks. And getting that passport, like, although for some people it's like chump change, like it's hard. So I really do appreciate that. And I'm so
yes,
excited to share. I'm gonna DM you so you can just like give me the formal details. But girl, you
yes.
send me the blurb and I'll post the
Yes,
image.
I will. I will. Yes, I'll send you the link. Yeah, I have it, and I've just been holding out. I have the money. I have scholarship, but I've just been holding out. And I'm like, how do I want to do it? I'm like, right here is who I'm. So I'm going to give you a passport for like. Yes, I'll give it to you. I'll share it with you. But if you know somebody who study basically a sophomore who's studying abroad
Mhm.
and who needs help with the passport, like the
Yeah.
we're gonna do that. So yes, definitely let me know if you have anybody and I'll send it to you after. But yes, I would like to pour into the girlies. I love college. I think it's a
Oh,
great opportunity who for people who want to study abroad who may not be able to study abroad or who haven't even have a passport. And
wow.
so did you study abroad in college?
I did not. I did not. I
Okay,
traveled a few places out the country, but I did not
okay,
travel.
you didn't study abroad. I was like, I feel like somebody studied abroad or travel, but
Hmm.
yeah, for Black Girls Den podcast, like I studied abroad, I think it's very important. I want
Yeah.
to be able to pay that forward to other girls who study abroad. Like I have a whole scholarship for it, but I haven't talked about it in a while. And I was
Yeah.
on a board who gave money to people to study abroad, but I was like, I'm gonna do what I can do, so I'm going to do passport scholarship.
I
So
love that.
and I will share with you after we get offline. But I wanted to let you know that.
Thank
So
you so much. Wow. That's so
um,
sweet. I love it. I
yes,
like
so that is what we're going to do for the girls in BBNYU. I keep on forgetting the end. I'm like, child, BBNYU. It's so many letters, but I'm trying to remember. So if
it.
anybody wants to donate, though, I do still take I
Yes.
take donations. It's a little different now, but I do have a fund where if you want to donate to help college students, college women specifically,
Mhm.
with um passport scholarships, we do raise money for that. I just haven't
Awesome.
talked about it in a long time, but
Yeah.
I want to bring it back. My goal is to kind of like do like four passport scholarships, like
Yeah.
quarter. We're
Yeah.
gonna work
That's
to
sweet.
that,
No,
but
we need to talk about that off. So we don't have to yap about here, your
but yeah, well, I want everybody to know who's listening, so if they want to donate some money, but
yes,
that
yes.
is so we
Please
can talk
invest.
online. Yes, so that is something that I want to do. I think it's very important. I want Black women to be able to see the world and travel. I just realized that I reached 30 states and I did not know that. My goal was 30 countries, but with COVID, I had to do 30 states. So I reached 30 states. So I have one more. I'm trying to do 31 before I turn 31.
Oh, I
Um,
love that.
so yeah, so I'm like my goals is traveling, child. I don't really worry about nothing else, child, but my goal is to travel, and so that's what I've been doing. That's what I'm kind of focusing on. But I
Okay,
want people and Black girls to see the world, see the country,
I
see
agree.
everything. So that's
Yeah.
something I'm very passionate about. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you. If you are watching this, make sure you like this. Make sure you share this. If you're watching a replay, share the replay, gang. This is all about Black women, collaborating, navigating, and building community wherever we are. It's virtual now. That's how we did this. So if you're looking for virtual, if you're looking for in person, just network and connect. If you are in college and you're watching this, if you know somebody in college that make sure you send them to Black Beauty Near You. Make sure you send them the Instagram, the TikTok, and all the things. And let's just be a support for us outside. You know what I'm saying? So outside in here, wherever we watch it. So yes,
Yes.
thank you for joining. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, y'all. Bye. See y'all next time. Have a great rest of your day, night, whenever you watch this. Bye.